In a dramatic twist that has caught the world's attention, Russian President Vladimir Putin has openly disregarded Western warnings about his alliance with North Korea, sparking a surge of international concern. This bold move came just as the BRICS 2024 summit unfolded in Kazan, Russia, bringing together leaders from Brazil, India, China, South Africa, and new partners, including Iran and Saudi Arabia. Held from October 22nd to 24, this summit has further deepened geopolitical tensions and revealed shifting alliances in a world increasingly divided between East and West. Today, we'll unpack the implications of Putin's stance, the Western reaction, and the strategic objectives that Russia and North Korea might be pursuing through this alliance. Let's explore what this means for global stability and how the BRICS summit has become a platform for Russia's defiance against Western influence. The BRICS summit in Kazan, hosted by Putin amid Western sanctions and international pressure, underscores the growing alignment among nations seeking to bypass Western influence. This year's gathering holds particular significance as BRICS continues to expand, adding Saudi Arabia, Iran, Egypt, Ethiopia, and the UAE as new members. By hosting such a high-profile event in Russia, Putin aims to demonstrate that despite Western sanctions and diplomatic efforts to isolate Moscow, Russia remains a pivotal global player. Putin's agenda in Kazan centers around forging deeper economic and strategic partnerships that challenge the Western-dominated order. Among the key topics discussed at the summit were trade deals, alternative payment systems that bypass the SWIFT network, and cooperative security measures aimed at countering NATO's influence. The Kazan summit illustrates that BRICS is no longer just an economic bloc, but a strategic coalition challenging the Western hegemony in global governance and finance. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un's recent visit to Russia marks a notable development in this evolving alliance. Reports suggest that Putin may be leveraging North Korea's military capabilities to bolster his war efforts in Ukraine, particularly in terms of ammunition and artillery supplies. North Korea, in return, stands to gain access to advanced Russian military technology, including satellite capabilities, potentially shifting the balance of power in East Asia. Putin's disregard for Western warnings aligns with his broader strategy of aligning with nations that similarly defy Western control. For Putin, North Korea offers a steady supply of military support at a time when Russia's resources are stretched thin due to sanctions and the ongoing Ukraine conflict. In Kazan, this informal Russia-North Korea alignment served as a pointed reminder that Russia is willing to explore alliances far outside the traditional frameworks accepted by the West. As news of Putin's dismissal of Western warnings surfaced, Western leaders reacted with alarm. The United States has condemned any potential arms trade between Russia and North Korea, calling it a significant escalation. European nations have also voiced concerns, emphasizing that any military cooperation between Russia and North Korea would be a direct violation of United Nations sanctions and a destabilizing factor in both the European and Asian security landscapes. Many in the West view Putin's actions as a deliberate attempt to undermine international norms, prompting discussions of additional sanctions and measures aimed at further isolating Russia. NATO, in particular, has voiced concerns that such cooperation could prolong the conflict in Ukraine and embolden other authoritarian regimes to forge alliances outside of Western influence. For Russia, North Korea's military support is an invaluable resource. Western intelligence has indicated that Moscow's ammunition supplies are strained, and North Korean artillery could provide much-needed reinforcement. This supply chain could allow Russia to sustain its operations in Ukraine, easing the pressure on its domestic production and circumventing the sanctions that have crippled its defense industry. North Korea, on the other hand, seeks advanced military technologies to bolster its defense capabilities. Access to Russian satellite technology, for instance, could enhance Pyongyang's missile guidance systems, making its ballistic missile program even more formidable. The partnership thus becomes a symbiotic relationship, with both nations gaining resources that challenge the strategic calculations of their adversaries. Additionally, this alliance enables North Korea to assert more independence from China, its traditional ally. By aligning more closely with Russia, Kim Jong-un gains leverage in his negotiations with Beijing, showing that North Korea is not solely dependent on Chinese support. This year's BRICS summit has revealed the bloc's ambitions to forge an alternative global order. The gathering in Kazan highlights the collective discontent among BRICS members toward the Western-dominated financial and political systems. From creating an alternative to the SWIFT payment network to exploring trade mechanisms independent of the US dollar, BRICS is laying the groundwork for a system that can bypass Western controls entirely. By forming a coalition of influential non-Western nations, BRICS provides Putin with a platform that counters NATO's narrative and strengthens Russia's alliances with countries like China, India, and now North Korea. The bloc's flexibility, described as minimal obligations and maximum opportunities, gives members the freedom to navigate global affairs without Western oversight. Despite its advantages, this Russia-North Korea alliance is not without risks. North Korea's unpredictable nature could pose challenges for Russia, as Kim Jong-un has been known to pivot quickly to protect his regime's interests. Moscow also risks facing deeper sanctions and diplomatic repercussions, as the West has already hinted at retaliatory measures if military support from North Korea becomes evident. Furthermore, Russia's close alignment with North Korea could strain its relations with other BRICS members, particularly India and China. While China has shown tacit support for Russia, it has historically kept North Korea at a cautious distance to avoid regional destabilization. Any escalation resulting from North Korean involvement could complicate Beijing's position as it balances its rivalry with the West and its influence over Pyongyang. Putin's dismissal of Western warnings and his deepening ties with North Korea underscore a broader shift in global power. The 2024 BRICS Summit in Kazan symbolizes more than just diplomatic cooperation. It signals a world where countries are exploring new alliances to challenge Western dominance. As BRICS grows and welcomes more members, the international community faces a reality where isolated states, often marginalized by the West, find solidarity with one another. The implications of a stronger Russia-North Korea alliance could be profound, impacting both the European theater and the Asian security landscape. The West, meanwhile, is left grappling with a strategic question. Can it contain this alliance, or is the world witnessing the formation of a new coalition that could reshape global power? What do you think? Are we on the brink of a new era in international relations, or can diplomacy still play a role in diffusing these tensions? Share your thoughts below, and if you found this analysis valuable, be sure to like and subscribe as we follow this unfolding story.